Stop sacrificing your life force to your victim story. If life feels like you're just getting through it, if your default is to shrink in conflict or to overthink and spiral in your mind or to wait for the next fight or gossip, this is a form of victim consciousness. Victim comes from the Latin word victima, and it means to be a sacrificial animal or to be a living creature that is killed for a deity or a god. When we exist in victim consciousness state, we are allowing our life force energy to leave us and to give it up. Instead of our life force energy is our life force, we are meant to hold it and use it to move through the world. But what happens is that when we are kids, we are helpless. We are meant to be taken care of by our mom and dad. And when they can't, we really feel the feeling of helplessness. And then what happens is we make this mean that we really are helpless, and we try on all of these different strategies to get the connection and the love back. And so then we start to believe that these connections and strategies are the way to function in the world. See, this world is actually mostly built on helplessness. And this is because we have lost our initiation rights to move from childhood to adulthood. We are all a whole lot of little children having conversations and getting into fights with one another. When you are initiated into adulthood, you step out of victim consciousness. This is actually how we are meant to be operating in this world. But because our parents were in victim consciousness, because our media and our government perpetuate victim consciousness, this keeps us in this state of feeling like we are at the mercy of people and life. Because as a child, you were. But as an adult, you are not. But we're missing a step, right? That initiation. And the hard truth, it's so hard to reconcile ourselves with because we are stuck in this childlike existence and because as a child, we needed someone to save us. We needed mom and dad to save us. The hard truth is no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to save me. We can ask for help. We can be in community where there is shared resources and care and love for one another. But essentially, at the end of the day, I am responsible for me and you are responsible for you. So I'm going to give you 7 ways that you can recognize victim consciousness. And everything I share here, I have done. I still dip into it and out of it. This is very normal. But it is the awareness of this that is how you create change, first in yourself, and then with your children, and in all of your relationships and the world. Number 1, you are living in emotional reaction rather than response. What this means is someone or something comes towards you in your outer environment, could be an actual person, could be an Instagram post. And you get triggered, you have a response, it hits on a wound, and you react. So you fight back, you hide, you are flooded by emotions, and it's essentially like you're acting like a child in that state. Now, when you respond to something like this, you will still feel the trigger. But what happens is you feel the trigger and then you can move through it. You are not in reaction. You pause, you reflect, you consider what that's hitting on for yourself. This happens all the time on the socials these days, right? Someone posts something and you can see it everywhere. Someone posts something and it hits on, it's designed to be a little controversial. And so then it hits on people's wounds. And then you see in the comments, everyone getting reactive to that. Ideally, what would happen is the controversial thing comes up, people receive, and they go, what's true for me? And the thing is that when we do that, we can actually have real conversations. We cannot have real conversations or deep intimacy from emotional reactivity. Number two, waiting to be rescued. Now, this one, I mean, we all feel this, right? Whether it's, oh my goodness, I am going to win the lotto and I'm going to win $10 million and then life will be okay. Or, oh my goodness, when the one arrives, then I will be okay and everything will be fine. Now, like most things, there is a spectrum. So it's totally okay to have a desire like, I want to win this money. I'm gonna play lotto. My family plays scratch and wins. I love them. They're fun. And it's totally okay to have that desire of, I can't wait until my person arrives. That's gonna feel so good. But it's a whole other thing when you're coming from this place of going, life will only be okay and perfect when I get these things, when this comes into my life, because then I will be safe. Then I will be saved. Then I will be rescued. So you see the two different, like the energetic difference there. One is like sitting in desire, and in desire, there's you're holding the desire loosely, and in the waiting to be rescued by someone or something, this has like closed fist. Nothing else is possible. This is the only thing. It keeps you a victim. Number three, the why is this happening to me mindset. Now, again, it's a gray area. When shit hits the fan and life gets hard, you're probably going to have moments of going, why is this happening? This is so horrible. I've done it. I've done it. It happens because sometimes shitty things happen, right? But it is the perpetuation of this mindset. Why is this happening? Why is this happening, right? If you're existing constantly in this place, that's victim mindset. If you hit into it because something has happened that has thrown your life off course, of course you're going to dip there. And then you're going to right yourself. See the difference? Number four, rejecting responsibility because you're confusing it with blame. So you are 100% responsible for your 50% of a relationship. What this means is when there's a dynamic happening between two people, each person is equally responsible for that dynamic. Now, some people really don't like to hear this, and I'll tell you it's true. Sometimes what happens is one person's side of the dynamic looks bigger, looks more obvious, and the other person's doesn't. The other person is still making choices. For example, when I was in a borderline narcissistic relationship with a man years ago. I had to completely take responsibility. Yes, his behavior was not okay. It wasn't okay. But I'm the one who moved in with him, even when my intuition told me not to. I'm the one who stayed when it was hell. Yes, it was manipulative. And I am an adult and I'm responsible for my choices. Right? And this hooks in because as a child, we aren't responsible. Our parents are. And so this is where that initiation is really necessary. Right? We are not children, we are adults, and we need to take responsibility for what we are creating in our lives. Number five, making excuses for being stuck. So this looks like, I can't because of this, or that's just how I am. It's how I've always been, and this is how I will always be. And that is, again, it's a gray area because it's true. Sometimes we will hit this place. I know I have, again, where you're at a wall, like a psychological, emotional wall, where there's an opportunity for you to see something different. Well, your perception and your ego will go, no, 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 I don't want to see the other side of this because this belief that I've held for so long has kept me safe. And it has. And there's a difference between being at the wall of the I can't do this, no, I'm in refusal to do this, and then going to the other side of the wall to this is just how I am and I'm never going to change. Because that's actually not true. Everyone can change. I've seen it so many times. It's more that I don't want to change. I don't want this. I don't want to see something differently. That would be taking actually responsibility for the stuckness. I'm actually good here in this stuckness. That leads me to number 6, avoiding the hard truths. When we have to face our own patterns that keep perpetuating us over and over again, that can feel really confronting. And so what do? We externalize it. We say, well, no, it's that. It's them, it's them, it's no, as a mentor of mine used to say, when there's one finger pointing out, there's 3 fingers pointing back in. So when we avoid these hard truths about our own patterns, we are projecting our pain and our experience outside of us. We're not taking responsibility again. Number 7, we're over identifying with our wounds. So the story of your life, what happens in childhood or when a traumatic event may have happened, that becomes your identity. This too is very normal because when we discover something that happened to us, or we remember something, or we discover the impact that something we experience had, it's normal to kind of go, "Wow, this actually had impact on me." But what can happen is then you start to wear that story like your identity, and you don't actually give yourself a chance to move to the other side of it. And when you can do this is really empowering. I have done this so many times when I discover a part of myself that was hurt because of something that happened when I was a kid or a teenager. I'm like, no, this is why. This is my why. And it feels really good to know your why you act the way you do, why life has been the way that it has been. But what needs to actually happen is an integration of it so it no longer leads the show. The whole world perpetuates victimization through the news, through your families, through media, this he said, she said, gossipy stuff. So in the next video, I'm going to go through this actual triangle that keeps it cycling so that you can actually start to notice the patterns that are coming up all around you all the time, because it's when we notice the patterns that these changes get to happen.